Alright, now we're going to go on with another exercise from the topic coordinates and the normal plane. Always our exercises, or maybe this time, are taken from the book International Mathematics 2. And this time we're going to solve the exercise 5. So let's take it to our blackboard. There it is. And let's read what it says. It says, the points in each table represent a straight line. Draw the 4 lines on one number plane. So we are going to do exactly what they're saying. We're going to draw all of these points. And as you can see here, in every table, we see the points in the x-axis and in the y-axis. They're coordinates, in fact. What we're seeing is their coordinates. So let's start with the first point. The first point will be -4 in the x-axis, 0 in the y-axis. So let's try to look the point -4 in x, and it's right here. And since we have to locate it at 0 in y, it's gonna be, that point is gonna be right there. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. There could be better. Okay, there it is. -4 in x, 0 in y. Now let's go on with the other point. This time -3 in x, 1 in y. Well, the first thing is try to locate -3 in x. It's right there. And now we're going to move we're going to move up until we reach 1 in y. There it is, -3 in x, 1 in y. The next point is going to be -2 in x, 2 in y. Here it is, -2, and from here we're going to move up until we reach 2 in y. There it is, -2 in x, 2 in y. Next point is going to be -1 in x, 3 in y. Let's try to locate -1 in x, and it's right here, and from here we're going to move up until we reach the 3 in y. There it is. Alright, there we have it. Now let's go on with the numbers from the other table. We have the first one, -3 in x, -1 in 1. So let's try to locate -3 in x. It's right here, and from here we're going to move down, okay, and there it is, -3 in x, -1 in y. Let's go on with the other point. We have -2 in x, -2 in y. Okay, here it is, -2 in x, and now we're going to move down until we reach the -2 in y. There it is, -2 in x, -2 in y. Next point is going to be -1 in x, -3 in y. Here it is, -1 in x, and from here we're going to move down until we reach the -3 in y. Here it is, right there. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Now we have the fourth point, 0 in x, and from here we move down until we reach the -4 in y. 0 in x, -4 in y. This is the last point from this part. Now let's move on to the next table. We have 0 in x, 4 in y. Okay, and from 0 in x we're going to move up until we reach the 4. Okay, the 4, well, I barely can see it, but it's right there. Okay, there it is, 0 in x, 4 in y. Next point is 1 in x, 3 in y. So we locate 1 in x, and from here we're going to move up until we reach the 3 in y. There it is. Then we have 2 in x, 2 in y. We located 2, and from here we're going to move up until we reach the 2 in y. There. And finally 3 in x, 1 in y. Here it is, 3 in x, and from here we move up until we reach the 1 in y. 3 in x, 1 in y. Finally, last table, we start with the first point, 1 in x, -3 in y. Right here it is 1 in x, and from here we're going to move down until we reach -3 in y. There. Next point, 2 in x minus 2 in y. So from 2 in x, we're going to move down until we reach the minus 2 in y. The last point, let's see, we have 2 more. 3 in x minus 1 in y. So from 3 in x, we're going to move down until we reach the minus 1 in y. Finally, the last point is going to be 4 in x, 0 and y. So from here, from 4 in x, we're not going to move up, neither under. We're going to leave it there because it's a 0 in y. 4 in x, 0 in y. With that, we can draw 4 lines that join all those points. Here it could be this line. There we have one. Okay, it wouldn't be that perfect. I don't know why the simulation doesn't allow me to put it right there where it should be. Okay, I'll try with the others. Here it is. Now this point, and finally this one. Okay, so with all of that, now we can give an answer to the question A. In question A, they're saying what shape is enclosed by these lines? Okay, we can say it's a square if we see it from some perspective. Okay, there it is. It's a square. Unfortunately, I had to remove that. Okay, you try to do it once again. I don't know how. Ah, there it is. Okay, so once again, let me put it right on its place. There it is. Okay, so the shape that is enclosed by those 4 lines, it's a rhombus, but also it's a square. This one, it's rhombus, or it's also a square. Now, you try to give the answer to the question B, where do the diagonals cross? It's very easy, and you will do it very quickly because it's a piece of cake. So I hope you could understand this video. This time we have to graph the points given the coordinates in tables. The coordinates are given here in tables. In the next exercise, we're going to see it in a different way. So I hope you could understand this one, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to go on with the number plane and coordinates. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and goodbye.